Welcome to this quick introduction to computer viruses and malware. I'm Roy Pruniger of Zinn Technologies. In this tutorial, we'll be covering the differences between viruses and malware, how your system can be a victim, the ways you'll know you might have one, getting rid of one, and fortifying your system to prevent them from taking up residence. Because at one time there were only viruses, we differentiate the newer classification of malware from them in that a computer virus is a piece of code that is capable of copying itself and typically has a detrimental effect, such as corrupting the system or destroying data. Some viruses benefit their authors by secretly transmitting information from your system and others to a remote host for monetization evaluation. That is, they want to be able to make money by stealing user IDs and passwords, bank accounts, customer lists, phone books, employee lists, trade secrets, government secrets, etc. These are all examples of information that can be stolen and easily sold to make money. Other viruses are designed to silently harm or destroy systems, either autonomously or by remote control. Viruses can infect any system they are written to target. There are no systems that are impervious to them. The uses of viruses by military, government, and law enforcement is known as cyber warfare. Malware, short for malicious software, is any software used to disrupt computer operation, gather sensitive information, or gain access to private computer systems. Malware includes Trojan horses, ransomware, spyware, etc. Malware is not categorized as a virus because it exists within a part of a system and isn't a single specific isolated program with a single purpose. Generally speaking, malware is designed to benefit the designers implicitly or explicitly. Many legitimate companies and software programs make use of malware tactics to generate revenue. An example you should look out for is a piece of free software that you want to use, and when you install it, it also installs some software you didn't want or need. Taking over your search engine when you browse the web is a common example. You may not have noticed that when you agreed to the terms and conditions of using the software you wanted, you also agreed to let it install the software you didn't want. Malware is sometimes embedded in a web page you might visit as the result of a link in an email or a link on another web page. This type of malware can use your browser to lock up your system completely if you don't comply with its demands. Recovery from such a hijack can be difficult, but paying the ransom for the fix may or may not work, but they definitely have identified someone that will pay. The most common carrier of viruses and malware is the Internet. These days we all use it as much or more than the telephone to communicate, shop, and just browse. Your web browser followed by email are the most common sources of problems. You can still be infected with something you load from a media device such as a CD, DVD, or a flash drive. As computer users use physical media less and less, and with systems using anti-malware software, these types of viruses no longer have the presence they once did, but you can be assured that they still exist. Sometimes someone will download something from the Internet, copy it to physical media, and pass it along to you without knowing everything that it actually contains. Detecting viruses isn't always easy, since the objective of a virus is to continue to operate undetected for as long as possible. Successful virus technology evolves one step ahead of antivirus software developers. Both sides monitor what the other side is doing, but antivirus developers can't identify and combat anything that doesn't yet exist. Virus developers don't get started on their designs until they know what antivirus programs will look for to detect them, so they can develop something that goes undetected. Given the number of computers worldwide, a fast-spreading virus can generate a great deal of money for the perpetrators very quickly before it can be detected and an antivirus for it developed and distributed. Other viruses may simply overwrite parts of your system and cause it to crash, leaving little chance to recover it. Viruses and malware may slow down your system by keeping it busy with their resource-intensive nefarious deeds. Some malware seems innocent enough and users don't realize their system has been altered because, overall, it still works. This is especially true of browser malware. In some cases, malware are easy to detect if you look carefully. This is especially true of search engine hijacks. Search engines make money by charging advertisers for clicks on links to the advertisers' websites. The more people a search engine has using it, the more money they can make, so malware makes changes to your system so you will use that search engine employing such tactics. Cleaning a system that has a virus or viruses and/or malware is the job of antivirus software. These are programs that scan a system for the telltale signs of an infection and may offer the user remediation options such as ignore, quarantine, and delete. Ignoring an identified infection is something you don't want to do unless you know exactly what the file that has been flagged as a virus is and why it looks like a problem to the antivirus software. Quarantining software is to move it from where it currently resides in your system to an isolated place that is managed by the antivirus software. Deleting the infection is the most effective treatment option, even though it may be difficult even for antivirus software to remove it. Sometimes a virus will realize it's about to be deleted and copy itself to somewhere else. Sometimes two copies of infectious software run in the system, so when you kill one, the other knows immediately that its partner has been terminated, and so it fires up another copy, so there is always at least one running. In some cases, viruses are so serious and difficult to deal with that they will have a dedicated program developed specifically to eliminate it from your system. As mentioned previously, no computer system is totally immune from viruses and malware. Most systems can be made highly resistant to them using various tactics, including isolation. However, the most common tactic is to use detection and mitigation software developed by computer security companies. The antivirus and anti-malware programs can only be as effective as the information they use to identify threats. This information, known as definitions, should be updated periodically and automatically by the software itself. Free versions of antivirus software may not include the automatic updating or real-time monitoring, so just having a program is not always enough. Limiting your exposure by only dealing with people you know is not an effective tactic since you can't be sure of all the people they've been in contact with. Your best defense against viruses and malware is the use of any tactics you can think of and implement that give you a fighting chance of eluding or fighting them. Thank you for viewing this quick tutorial, and we hope it has shed some light on what viruses and malware are. If you'd like more information about them and securing systems against them, contact us through www.aquickintro.com.